Rishi, screen off. Camera off, camera off. Namaste. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 26 of the Diversey BW Hotelier GM Show Series, Season 3. Today's session is centered around a game-changing shift in hospitality, personalization and scale. We're talking about using big data to anticipate guest preferences in real time. With guests expecting curated experiences tailored to their tastes, the hospitality industry is leveraging big data, AI, and predictive analytics to go beyond expectations. Whether it's understanding dining preferences, customizing room settings, or personalizing wellness offerings, the key is delivering this at a scale and without compromising operational efficiency or brand identity. To decode how industry leaders are mastering this, I am joined by an esteemed panel of general managers from leading hospitality brands in the NCR. And today, moderating this insightful session is my good friend and a very old friend, Ashwni Kumar Goela. He's the area general manager, Delhi NCR, and also the vice president for the Radisson Blue Plaza, Delhi Airport, the hotel from where Radisson began operations many moons ago in India. Ashwini brings extensive expertise in managing high-profile pilgrimage destinations and also MICE and weddings. Welcome to the show, Ashwini.
Thank you so much, Bhuvanesh. Really excited over to be here and wishing you great luck and the entire BW team for this lovely show. Thank you.
Always happy to have you back. Such a pleasure. And today, Ashwini is going to lead the show. Let me begin by introducing my other good friends on the show. Rishi Mattu, he is the general manager of the ITC Grand Bharat, not too far away in Gurgaon. Welcome to the show, Rishi.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here.
Delighted. Thank you for being here. Next in is Harpreet Vohra. He's the area general manager, East India at the Radisson Hotel Group, and also the general manager for the Radisson Blu in Faridabad. Welcome to the show, Harpreet.
Thank you, Bhuvanesh. Excited to be a part of the show, and thank you for bringing all of us together. Namaskar.
Delighted. Thank you for being here. Next in is Shuvendu Banerjee. He's the general manager of the Holiday Inn, New Delhi International Airport, the Aero City. Welcome to the show, Shuvendu.
Thank you, Mr. Khanna. Thank you for having us, all of us here. It's my second one with the BW. Really excited to have a healthy discussion on the topic
and
today.
many more.
Thank you.
Sharad Upadhyay. He's the general manager of the Crowne Plaza in Greater Noida. Welcome to the show, Sharad.
Thank you, Mr. Khanna. It's always a pleasure to be here on this platform. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Thank you for being over. Rakesh Sethi. He's the general manager of the Radisson Blue Hotel, New Delhi at Dwarka. Welcome to the show, Rakesh.
Thank you, Mr. Khanna. Always a pleasure.
God bless you. Thank you for being here. Last but not the least, Kapil Vig. He's the general manager of the Crowne Plaza in Rohini. Welcome to the show, Kapil.
Thank you, Mr. Khanna. Thank you, BW HOTELIER, for having all of us here on this platform. It's great to be connected again.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's get rolling immediately without much ado. Ashwni, if I can get rolling with you with your first question.
Sure.
Ashwini, tell me, with hotels collecting vast amounts of guest data, data is real money. It's not new money, it's real money. This is where Google and all the technology companies are made. What are some of the most innovative ways properties are utilizing this big data analytics to deliver hyper-personalized guest experiences? Why don't we hear it from you? You're the man on the spot.
Thank you so much, Bhuvanesh. And I think you're absolutely right. Data is the king in today's world. If you have data, you have everything. And I think some of the ways, innovative ways, without being too intrusive, some of the hotels, companies that we are trying to look at is to give a more anticipatory service to our guests. Now, that could be to study the guests' preferences, how do they book, what is the lead time, how do they book online, offline, and to anticipate the guest needs. Second is seamless automation in terms of smart room customization. So today AI can help you whether the guest would like to have the curtains drawn or would like to have what temperature in the room or what temperature of the hot water or how much temperature would the bath be taken at. Personalized food offers in dining where the guest usually likes to dine. What are the dishes the guest likes to have? That also is something that we can now analyze today and see what's the personalization the guest would want. The treatment plans, the therapist who the guest usually likes to take, and what is the treatment or what is the ambient settings that the guest would need at the spa. Housekeeping, what are the schedules of housekeeping? Where would the guest like to, when would the guest like to have the housekeeping service done? Would you like to kind of move your stuff or you like to keep your stuff or not disturb your items? I think that all is today possible with so much of data that is getting collected over here, and there is enough and more. I mean, even a seamless communication today is something which is now possible through AI. Now we can know exactly how the guest would like to be contacted, what are the timings, whether it's app, whether it's text, whether it's email, and what is the guest looking forward for. So I think overall AI has really helped us with the data analysis to ensure that we are able to give that personalization as per the guest needs. And of course, the key word here is without being too intrusive. So that's something that I think AI has been able to do for hotels. So it's a great shift to what we were when we were growing up to what it is now. So,
Tell me, does it, I mean, since you lord over a decent territory and a lot of hotels, assets, and by virtue of that, a lot of staff across 360 degrees of the entire operation of any hotel or hotels, have the staff felt threatened or insecure?
No, I don't think any of the staff has felt threatened or insecure because in hotels, what humans can do, humans can do. And even a guest, when a guest is walking into the hotel, they are not looking at a kiosk to take a check-in or a robo to come and serve them. They are looking, it's ladies and gentlemen who are looking to be served by ladies and gentlemen over here. They like to have the conversations, they like to understand. They don't I mean, guests today are not looking at that kind of an automation where everything has become completely non-human centric. So that is what the staff is not threatened at all in this industry, and
So
they're
do I
only
do I do
enjoying.
I understand in here that people are embracing it with open arms?
Embracing it with open arms because it's helping us to know what the guest would want. So that's where it's simplifying the job of our associates and our managers at the shop floor for them to make their strategies basis the data that they are collecting and the analysis that AI is able to do for them. So it's only
Excellent.
helping us.
Excellent. So let me get comfortable and not feel insecure. I shall hand over the reins of the show to you.
Thank you so much, Bhuvanesh, and really a warm welcome to all my esteemed panelists over here. And once again, Bhuvanesh and the BW team, thank you for having me over here and having us over here. I think a great platform for all of us to come together and share our thoughts.
Thank you.
So I'd like to go with the first question. It's actually the first person on my screen. So I'll go with you, Rishi. So Rishi, luxury hospitality thrive on exclusivity. How is ITC Grand Bharat leveraging data analytics to create hyper-personalized, one-of-a-kind guest experience? Over to you, Rishi.
Thank you so much. I'd like to, before I answer that, like to add on your AI question. And I firmly believe that the percentage of guests who actually call us rather than using the app or the online or emails, it's about 50-50. So AI is probably will still remain there as a tool to help us, but I'm sure that as you very rightly said, human touch will always be there. Which brings me again, crossing over to the other side about how we actually record data and analyze it. Bhuvanesh has said something very correctly, that we are all in some form collecting data. And whether you come to a restaurant to eat, your bills are recorded with your name and your cell number. Whether you go to any other place, whether you stay in a hotel, the kind of rooms that you book, your booking patterns, your traveling patterns, your spending patterns, everything is recorded. And ultimately, it comes down to these three parts of a big process. One is understanding preferences. Like you said, it cannot be intrusive in nature. It has to be something that is available publicly. It is something that a guest is willing to share. It cannot be something that is related to his allergies or something more medical in nature. But once you understand that preference and it becomes a generic or a local preference, it has to be recorded properly, which is the second vertical of this entire process. Recording information in various forms is always available. A lot of hotels already use a service request management system of sorts. You can collect information on check-ins. You can collect information on any interaction, whether it is a housekeeping boy or a doorman. Each one of them is now, they have the power to collect a certain piece of information about that guest, about that client. And the third most important vertical is actually the execution part, is the reusing or recycling that data into a meaningful interaction, into a meaningful moment where a certain amount of delight is created. We can have a pre-arrival concierge interaction where the concierge can talk about what he had done in his previous stay in a previous hotel. We can talk about an arrival experience more linked to what he likes to do. You can, for example, get to know that he likes to travel with his family and create or curate something specially for his kids. It can be as small as an amenity for the kids, but it goes a long way. Whether it is an in-room amenity or small touches of personalization, including using their names, using their pictures, something that is available, very easily. Everything goes to a great extent. And in terms of one-of-a-kind experiences that we do, ITC Hotels has actually a full software where we track customer relationship management through the entire chain. So which essentially means that if Bhuvanesh stays at Chennai in a hotel and he drinks a certain type of coffee and he has a certain type of egg, I sitting in the ITC Grand Bharat can have access to that information. And imagine the delight when he comes in and sits for breakfast, he gets exactly what he wants to have every day for breakfast. So that is a kind of information utilization that we can do with the data. What is even more important, and like you mentioned about, we get to know about preferences of guests as to how they book. Once you have the data of all these customers, you can actually customize the marketing campaigns that are reaching them. So if I know that, Ashwni travels with his family and likes to have family vacations once every quarter, you will definitely get only leisure travel information about ITC Hotels right on your WhatsApp, right on your email, right where you would actually see it. So data collection, data recording, and then ultimately being able to use that data is something I think that hotels have started doing really well, and it will go a long way to create that extra delight, that personalization that we always look forward to.
Great, great, Rishi. I think very well said. And you're right. I mean, it's just a step forward in the right direction. Okay, so with this, would like to ask my next question to my fellow colleague Harpreet. Harpreet, in a fast-moving urban hospitality landscape, how do you use big data to anticipate guest needs before they even arrive at the Radisson Blue Faridabad?
Thank you, Ashwni. So at Radisson Blue Faridabad, and I would agree to what Rishi also mentioned. See, we utilize our integrated property management system to analyze booking patterns and historical guest data, which is what Rishi also mentioned, allowing us to identify returning guests and their previously recorded preferences. And this is what we do at Radisson Blue Faridabad as well. This enables us to prepare a personalized touch, like a preferred room temperature, pillow type, dietary restriction before even the guest arrives. We've gone a step further, and like most hotels do, we've also gone a step further through our partnership with our online travel agencies and social media analytic tools. We gather pre-arrival intelligence of our guests through their travel preferences. For instance, when we identify a business traveler through their corporate booking, we automatically prepare their room with enhanced workspace lighting or high-speed internet access is optimized. Our dynamic guest engagement platform analyzes real-time data from multiple touchpoints, including our mobile app, website interactions, email communications. So when a guest makes a reservation in a restaurant or a spa booking before arrival, our system automatically triggers relevant cross-departmental protocols to enhance their experience, such as noting their dietary preferences or preferred treatment times or preferred treatment type, etc. What we've also done at Radisson Blue Faridabad, we've implemented predictive analytics to forecast pre-check-in times and potential service demand on factors like a local event, a weather condition, and any historical patterns. This allows us to optimize staff scheduling and resource allocation to maintain service excellence even during high demand periods. By analyzing this aggregated guest feedback, we have something called as Review Pro, from where we get sentiment data from various channels. We continually refine offerings. For example, when the data showed a trend of guests requesting early check-ins due to morning flights, we adjusted our housekeeping schedules to prioritize room preparations for these guests. What Radisson does phenomenally well is their mobile pre-arrival questionnaire that collects data preferences, and we integrate with our AI-driven recommendation system. This allows to proactively suggest relevant services or amenities to guests before they come in. For example, airport transfers or a specific bed type or specific room, a bottle of wine, fruit basket, any specific amenity that a guest wants and he wants to pay for it. So this is what we do at Radisson Faridabad with the data that we have before guest arrival.
Super, Harpreet. I think some really nice, innovative ways how you're using the data to manage your housekeeping schedules, to make sure the guest that doesn't have to wait, and that we know in advance what the guest would want. So thank you, Harpreet. My next question would be to my neighbor at Aerocity, Shuvendu. So, as an airport hotel, Holiday Inn New Delhi International Airport receives transient guests with diverse needs. How is predictive analytics helping enhance guest retention?
Hi, Ashwini. Thank you so much for this question. I think I would agree with what you said, Harpreet and Rishi. See, the data today is the key, and we all have in our hotels, we have enough data for all the guests, those who are coming with their preferences, their dining choices, there's room type preferences, smoking, non-smoking. So the data we have at our hotel, of course, Holiday Inn New Delhi International Airports, it's supposed to be a transit hotel, but in and around we have a lot of corporates, so it's not usually the length of stay is one night, so we hardly get a day to understand what the guest wants. But in the system, what we get at the moment, we look at what exactly the guest wants. IHG has more than 6,000 hotels, and we integrally we get to see what exactly the guest wants in the previous hotel, what are the kind of preferences the guest has. Even we get to see in case if there's any issues or complaints which has happened, so that you're already ready with the recovery or in terms of the readiness of what the guest wants and in terms of delivery. And even the team nowadays, everyone is very, very smart enough to understand what exactly the artificial intelligence is doing. Looking at what Rishi mentioned, human touch definitely will be there, but they are the Gen Zs and the millennials more dependent on AI, whereas the age bracket of 35 to 55 or others are still in the habit of interaction with the guests, with the employees. That is, I believe, is something which will go on. Looking at the number of arrivals at the Aerocity and our hotel, I think predictive analytics is something which we are very well managing it with the guest preferences, dining, spa, airport transfers, everything. So something which we all do day in, day out, and that will continue to be there.
Very
Thank you,
interesting.
Shuvendu. Sorry, please, Bhuvanesh.
No, I'm fine. Please.
So I think yes, Shuvendu, and I think with the being a transit hotel, I have similar guests coming into my hotel as well, and I think it's very very important how predictive analytics can help us to understand the guest needs, especially because the time duration of the guest is very less staying with us, and that's where the guest needs a quick seamless service, and I think that's really helpful for hotels like us. Okay, so moving on, like to move on to my colleague Sharad. I think Sharad, you've established the Greater Noida as a MICE destination. I think you were the second hotel over there, second internationally branded hotel over there, and I think you've really made it a great MICE destination. Now, how is Crown Plaza Greater Noida using big data to enhance conference and event personalization?
Thank you, Ashwni, and great to be here in this forum with you and rest of the panelists. Ashwni, when I came into Greater Noida about three and a half years ago, I think things were shaping up. We're just coming out of COVID, but the things were moving at a very fast scale. Right, there were talks of Jewar Airport opening anytime soon. There was the Expo Center expanding their capacity by another 200 rooms. There were multiple standalone hotels coming up, and at the Crown Plaza Greater Noida, we had a very typical challenge because it's a very large inventory hotel, 400 rooms, very large banqueting capacity, about 51,000 square feet of banqueting. To fill up this at a marketplace where you're literally running on the shifting blocks, where things were not structured, we really had to harness the data very well. And the problems that we're facing at that time was, how do you fast track the sales cycle? I saw that there was a very big lead between the query was generated to the time it was either materialized or regretted. The second thing that we saw was the utilization of our venue was barely there. I mean, we are hardly utilizing our capacity. And then the third thing was, I think the entire the experience of the customers' booking cycle was at a very, very low. How we did that, we obviously utilized the IAG Enterprise, but I would like to cite three distinct applications that churn data into actionable insights for us. One is to effectively communicate with the market. Ashwni, we currently utilize a system called Kipsu, right? Kipsu is basically a sophisticated frontline customer communication software that helps the hotel sales team and the operations team to be in touch with the MICE operator or with the FIT guest who's checking in even before they have checked in. So you're able to customize and personalize and thrash out any issues that they have before even they come into the hotel. And the second software that we use at the hotel is called ServeMe. ServeMe is again a very sophisticated CRM and reservation system, predominantly catering to our restaurants and the banqueting space. What it does, you already have 20,000, 50,000 data with you with contact details. We're able to harness that data and communicate with the target market by selecting where you want to target. and taking your products and services to the customers proactively, right? And the communication then starts. There's a call to action button there. The guest would click on this and the conversation starts. We started generating a lot of leads, and we also saw that our the materialization factor also increased by almost 20%. I must tell this to you, between 23 and 24, our catering entire revenue grew by almost 30%.
Wow.
Part of that was probably evolutionary because with the changes taking in the marketplace, but also I think we're putting all these dots connected and proactively reaching out to the market. And finally, I would tell you about the Concerto, a very powerful proprietary system that we have at IHG that basically churns out trillions of data from the hotel, from all 6,600 hotels worldwide, and also external landscape like your GDS and your airlines data to economic indicators. It basically churns everything into one system and gives you some predictive as well as some post-mortem reports and insights, which help you to design a right product for the right market at the right time. So all these things combined together, I think we've seen a lot of traction, 30% increase on revenue by just adopting a right way of managing the data and harnessing it.
Super, Sharad. I think with the software that you just mentioned, it's really helping you to personalize the event and the MICE space at your hotel. Great. So my next question to, again, my colleague Rakesh Sethi at the Dwarka. So Rakesh, the Radisson Blue Dwarka is located in a high density residential area. How do you use guest preference data to differentiate and enhance the stay experience and also the F&B experience? Because that is right in the midst of a big residential areas now.
So, Ashwni, I firmly believe that our business is about storytelling. In hotel business, we are storytellers, whether it's F&B, whether it's a stay experience, whether it's banqueting, it's all about storytelling. So I'll just tell some stories here of what our customers go through when they choose to stay with us or dine with us or do an event with us. So Mr. Kumar is packing his bags. He has a flight tomorrow to stay with us. He's a CXO from a big tech company. He suddenly receives a WhatsApp message. The message is going from my front office manager because he's the custodian who has been assigned to make sure Mr. Kumar has a seamless stay experience. So we have his preferences updated on the database. He requires a higher floor, high speed internet, a quiet corner room. All those have been addressed. And the cherry on the cake is the message from the front office manager telling him we are ready to welcome you tomorrow morning and all the preferences have been taken care of. Consider the second one. Miss Chaudhary is a repeat customer. She stayed with us 2 months ago. That was her 9th visit. So when she entered her room, she sees a personalized welcome card signed by the GM saying, welcome back to your home in Dwarka on your 9th visit. Now that adds a touch of personalization. And then, of course, every landmark visit, Miss Chaudhary will get some special recognition in terms of amenities, meal vouchers, or some premium experiences at the hotel. Another one, Miss Rebecca stayed with us last week. That was her 2nd stay with us. So again, we have captured their preferences on her first stay. When she comes in the 2nd time, she goes for breakfast. And in the restaurant, she doesn't have to repeat her preference, which she's lactose intolerant. She cannot take dairy products. So the captain or the manager there approaches the lady because he already has the preferences listed there and offers her exactly the same drink, which is a almond milk cappuccino, and there's no end to her delight. Lastly, another story, what we practice here in Radisson Blue Dwarka, we are a favorite wedding destination because we are in a residential hub. So Mr. Singh had his wedding on 15th of February last year with us. 15th of February this year, the account manager who handled that event gets a pop-up on his screen. Today is their first anniversary, Mr. and Mrs. Singh. So this account manager picks up the phone, calls Mr. Singh, wishes him and his wife a very, very happy wedding anniversary and invites them to come back to the hotel and celebrate the special day again with us. On top of that, he surprises them with a personalized gift hamper that is delivered to their local address. So just a few stories in a gist of what we do day in and day out at Radisson Blu Dwarka to use data in terms of enhancing the customer experience.
Great.
Interesting. Thank you, Rakesh. My next question to Kapil. Kapil, you are at Rohini, which is Crown Plaza. Rohini serves a mix of business, leisure travelers, and even socials, the weddings. It's quite big on weddings. How do you leverage data analytics to tailor experiences for these diverse guest segments? And we've heard about the transient guests, we've heard about MICE, we've heard about events, we've heard about high density residential area. We would like to hear from you about how are you managing it for the social guests, wedding guests who are staying at your hotel, and how do you manage to use AI for that?
Well, first of all, thank you, Ashwni, and thank you, BW Hotelier. It's great to hear all the fellow colleagues. I think they covered most of the bases, as I would say. Uh, but yeah, I mean, how I look at it is you have three phases, right? You have pre-arrival, you have the stay, and you have the post-departure uh, stay of a guest. So pre-arrival, most of the people, it's linked to the data which we have from preferences. Few of my colleagues spoke about some softwares which we use. IG's got a huge loyalty program, so we get in a lot of input from the pre-arrival reports which we have, which shows their preferences, and we address that. I think the catch is to analyze that, have a pre-arrival meet, have a pre-arrival discussion, update the feedback into their profile notes in Opera so that you plan better. The more you plan, the more data you collect, the better you will be able to address. Now, Rohini is a little unique because we have a good mix of wedding customers as well and and corporate as well. So corporate wants to leave early morning for to depart from the hotel because they have breakfast requirement in the morning and they're going out for meetings and then they catch flight and leave. So we are ready to handle that. On the other side, you're handling a decent amount of chunk of business coming through MICE and weddings, who have a very different requirement. They want early check-in and they want late checkout, right? So we try and make sure the planning is done in a way that where we ask them to take some extra rooms well in advance, one day prior, so that people who are coming in earlier. So that's again database. We know what the requirement is and we insist on getting that done. The other areas of analyzing, as spoken by a few of my colleagues, is we look at sentiment analysis. So that is collected over all different platforms. So TripAdvisor, your Google feedbacks, your Booking.com feedbacks, MMT, and collectively we come to the output of that feedback. We have something called as a problem tracker, which we use, which is very helpful for me. We use that data on a regular basis. So the catch is to give the confidence to the team to enter your verbal feedback, your written feedback, your guest departure feedbacks, and all your online feedbacks in that one single portal. Analyze from there what is required from a long-term perspective, which has to be addressed, and what can be fixed short-term. Very important is the feedback during the stay. So most of the weddings who are staying with us are for 2 nights. I have a little longer length of stay. I don't have a problem which you guys have. So we are able to address it there. So I think problem handling is a very important aspect for customer satisfaction. Again, that is data driven. So communication, WhatsApp messages, FCS, which is used to communicate where the guest is having challenges and which can be addressed there and then. We are lucky. We have the opportunity to address it because people stay more than a day on an average in this hotel. So we ensure that they go out. And I think with problem handling comes empowerment to the team to address it. The idea is the guest has to walk out absolutely satisfied and he should come back. I think there's no better way to build a relationship with a customer is than knowing a customer who's had a complaint or who's had an issue. And we all are properties which are old, aging. We all have challenges. So how you address it, it should be from the heart, making sure it is empathetic towards the customer having an issue and make sure they come back. So my best friends who have become as customers are people who have had challenges here and there in the hotel for some issue or the other. So I think that's an important piece which something rest of the guys didn't speak. Most of the other areas were covered up as a base. So AI is, as you rightly said, AI is going to be more of a supporting tool for us in this industry. human touch cannot go away. AI will never have empathy towards a customer complaint or an issue. A robo cannot, understand what a bride's parent might be going through because of some issue, right? So, um, I think AI is there. It will help us probably become a little more productive, give us a little more time to have face-to-face interaction. I think that will help us better, and that is what is making us strive. So we are Crowne Plaza Rohini, as such, is doing very well on social media. We are always in the top three TripAdvisor ranking for across Delhi, very high on all the social media rankings. So we take pride in it. Um, and we actually compliment the staff for handling the complaint because there are issues and not just the good ones. So everything has to be complimented. That's what we are doing. I think rest of the stuff, most of it is covered. So pre-arrival, stay, departure, a call has to go to the guest, whether he's had a good stay, bad stay, ugly stay, or whatever challenges they might have faced, or whatever great experience they had, a post-departure call and welcoming them back for the next day is important. That's how we build continuity
Super.
in
And
people.
and I think that's helping. The AI is able to help you to analyze all of that and make it much seamless and much more smoother for you. So great. I think that's some great insights coming from you, Kapil.
Absolutely.
So thank you for that.
Ashwini, I'll just step in for a 30-second break. We're off by about 5 minutes, and
Sure.
we'll try and cover up in the next part, but here with the Diversey video. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Diversey. Diversey has been very supportive. They've held our hand. They helped this show succeed and reach the furthest corners of not just the subcontinent, but further away. Thank you, Diversey, again. Ashwini, let me roll into you with your last question, or the second and last question. Tell me, how can hotels strike the right balance between using guest data for personalization while ensuring privacy and compliance with data protection regulations? Because data is a two-edged sword, While it is useful,
It can
can
go either
also,
ways.
once getting into wrong hands, it can be counterproductive. Over to you.
Absolutely. No, Bhuvnesh, I think, and as I mentioned when you asked me the first, that without being intrusive and without ensuring that we don't collect too many data points, and I think Rishi mentioned about allergens and so about allergies and medical health. So yes, so that is something which we need to be very clear about. I think one is being transparent and have a clear consent from our guest about what all data is going to be collected. In this part of the world, we are at the moment not that stringent in terms of data collection or making sure that the transparency is there. But all international brands, including us as Radisson Hotel Group, we make sure that any kind of data that is collected, it has a clear consent from the guest. Data minimization, so which, as we mentioned before, there are not too many the data points that should be collected. Only the data points that we can use, analyze to improvise the guest experience and make it more seamless for our guests is only what we should be able to do. Robust data security measures. So that today you've got GDPR and you've got very strong bodies who are making sure the data that is collected is masked, data that is collected is rights controlled, data that is collected is not going into someone else, and it has an audit trail behind it, whatever the data that we are collecting, and even PCI compliance about the credit card numbers. So I think everything is now falling in place in terms of the data security measures. One of the important things is guest control and rights. I think something which we all should remember is that we are collecting this data. Guest has given the consent, but the guest should also be given the option of deleting the data as and when he or she would want to. Some of the social media has done that, where you are allowed to go kind of just go away and all your data is going to go away. You have the rights to control what you would want to show, how much you want to show, and what all you want to remove and what all you want to keep. So that is something I think which is very, very important that we have today in our chain and system, and the regular training and audits for our own team members, which is ensuring that the data uh, privacy is very well maintained. So we've got these mandatory training pills which are sent out to all our email IDs across the board, where every employee has to fill up those mandatory training pills, which helps them to know about the data privacy and data consent. So that's some of the things that we are doing at our level to ensure.
Very interesting, and good to hear from you. I mean, I know your grasp with numbers and analytics, so you're the man on the spot who is best equipped to handle this. So let me hand the reins back to you.
Thank you. I would I would like to kind of continue this further. So my next would be for Shuvendu. So Shuvendu, AI-driven chatbots and virtual concierges are reshaping guest interaction. Somebody on the call mentioned about virtual concierge. How effective are they in personalization and personalizing service at your hotel?
So, Ashwini, what we have in IG is called Digital Concierge, which is an app, an artificial intelligence app, which is available on the IG mobile app. So the guest can go and chat with us in the chatbot and give us all the preferences, all the requirements, and which anyways comes to the hotel as a data. And before the guest arrivals, we get to know that what exactly the guest needs and the preferences, like I mentioned earlier, and rest of the panelists also mentioned. Once we have the data in advance, we definitely use it in terms of enhancing the guest experience by giving a warm welcome, room preferences, dining choices, and everything. So this digital concierge is something which we utilize, and that's a very, very powerful tool for all of us, which gives us intelligence about the guest arrival, pre-arrival, so that at least we are ready with the guest expectations accordingly.
What about chatbots? Do you use that at your hotel? And do you think it's effective? Because there are a lot of companies who use chatbots, but is it effective where the guest finds it not cumbersome?
At the moment, this digital concierge itself helps us because this is kind of a chatbot for the app, wherein we get all the data from there. That's what we use. And as I mentioned earlier, the duration of stay for the guests in our hotel is usually 1 night. So whatever data we can collect pre-arrival during the stay, we can do it for the guest when they are in-house. That's what the team does. As Kapil also mentioned earlier, that we do it a pre-arrival meeting. We get to know what exactly the guest preferences are. And on arrival, we definitely make sure that all those things are communicated well, because that's what is important, that the guest knows that his expectations are all met by the hotel.
Thank you, Shuvendu. Sharad, I think guest sentiment analysis, you mentioned something is critical for refining service standards. How are you at your hotel using data from online reviews and guest feedback to tailor experiences?
Thank you, Ashwini. And I think it's pretty relevant to all of us, regardless of the brands that we represent and work at. I think the traveler is pretty much similar. Today's new age traveler is highly sophisticated, very aware, and seeking a lot of value, right? It's not just the price that they're trying to negotiate. I think they're looking at value. So the guest feedback in any form, whether it's your online surveys or social media feedback that comes out, it's just not only valuable, but it also comes directly as something which is like an actionable insight, right? And I can tell you from my own experience and the IG data that's been published, very broadly, what are the guests asking and looking for? They're looking for speed and experience very seamlessly blended. They want it quick, and they want to create an experience for whatever purpose they're visiting your hotel for. The second thing that which is known now globally is they're trying to make moments out of an occasion. Yeah, whether they are in your restaurant or they're they're in the hotel for a MICE purpose. They want memories to be created. So that has come from a lot of feedback that we've got. cleanliness and wellness is a very big chunk there, and it's almost predominant across the brands, whether it's a super luxury or a budget hotel. Cleanliness and wellness, guests now they seek for indications of this being present in the hotel lobby or in the spa or in the restaurant. So wellness in any form, whether it's a menu or symbolic, is required everywhere. And finally, the guest insight also tells us is value is a very big differentiator. So it's not necessarily just a very high ADR. The guest doesn't mind that as long as the value is there. How we get this? How we get this is IG has a system called Medallia, and I assume that this is there in a couple of other brands as well. And Medallia, right? You are aware, Ashwini, is a fantastic software that tells you about who your guest was. Why did they come to your hotel? How long did they stay with us? What is their purpose and how much did they spend, and what is the feedback, not only in terms of quantitative, like how much do they score out of 10, but also qualitative, that helps you to generate a lot of sentiment analysis, right?
Absolutely.
And the second thing, which is really remarkable, is called IG Guest Arrival Reports, Ashwini. This is a fantastic tool. I think Shuvendu touched upon it when he spoke about it.
Right.
It basically talks about the guest, his history within the IG hotels in the last 12 months, any feedback that's been given to us in the last 12 months, regardless of whether the guest stayed in Athens or Greece or in Mumbai, right? You can come to know about it. And it also prompts the hotel to be ready with certain things like, okay, make sure his upgrade is there, make sure the food is less spicy, make sure that, you recommend something food and beverage, because this guy tends to spend more on food and beverage during his stay. So a lot of these, the data that's collected through Medallia and the IG guest arrival report.
You use that to kind of do it.
Yes. In
Perfect.
paucity of time, I'll just stop here. Yeah.
Thank you, Sharad. Talking on wellness, Sharad, that you picked up, I think I'll direct my next question to Rishi. Rishi, ITC Grand Bharat focuses on wellness and heritage tourism. How can guest preference data be used to customize wellness retreats and cultural experiences at your hotel?
Yeah, I was just hearing the entire way that the conversation was going, and it's so good to hear that every hotel chain has these concepts, processes, but is also very system driven to be able to deliver, what our guests are expecting. So that's a good insight for us also. In terms of our hotel, we are not very far away from Delhi, and we are not very far away from Jaipur. So what we pride on is the fact that we are away from Delhi. We can showcase a lot of heritage. ITC Hotels has always been rooted to the soil in terms of our architecture, in terms of the heritage, culture, etc. This hotel was special. It was built in right besides a golf course. The main objective of this hotel was to inculcate the whole journey, which had about 10 years back started from spa-led back packages to wellness-led packages. So wellness basically embodied three concepts of mind, body, and soul, where the entire concept was that while you do your therapies, you also take care of your body by eating the right kind of food. There were wellness plans that were made for 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, where you would be given sattvic cuisines, where you would be given alert meats, you would be given various kinds of yoga, techniques to be able to get the energy back into your system. And you had a lot of space in the hotel. So the concept was not about an activity or a picnic-based hotel. The concept that was put together was called unhurried luxury, which meant that you actually came here to give a pause in your life. Okay, right. The idea was not to come here and plan what you're going to do from this time to this time, and that was not the idea. So taking from there, you had curated experiences that were put together. There was these small little rituals that were built in. For example, like a Bharat Varsh walk, where the entire architectural concept and why it was named ITC Grand Bharat, or why there are four types of suites that we have, and why they were built in a certain manner, etc., was kind of infused into the system. So by walking around the property, a guest could get a feel of the Hampi civilization, the Devanagari script, or
So I'll just hold you. Sorry for interrupting. I'll hold you here, Rishi. So how are you using? I mean, it's great to see the history of Grand Bharat, but how are you using the guest preference data to customize the wellness experience? So are you kind of going and reading to what the guest is saying, whether they want this experience, or how are you customizing these for yourself?
So yeah, so like the three beer story that we had read when we were younger, where there were different type of porridges for different people. What we try and do is exactly that. In a family, you will always have one person who would like to go the wellness route, while the second would like to go for a game of golf, or go for a hiking trip or cycling trip. So wellness and the activities are, in today's day, are kind of merged together. When we know about our preferences from our guests, like from the pre-arrival, we are able to curate their experiences so that in the limited time that they have at the retreat, they're able to enjoy every bit of what each one individual wants.
Perfect, Rishi. Thank you for your inputs. Harpreet, F&B personalization. We at the start spoke about F&B personalizations becoming a key trend. How are you using AI and analytics to curate unique dining experiences based on the guest preferences?
Thank you, Ashwni. But before I answer that question, I just want to tell you that sweetest sound in any language is your name. So that is what personalization is. And I would, in fact, I'm very, I was keen, and Rakesh, thank you for those lovely stories. I would probably plagiarize a few to ensure that we do personalization and take it to the next level. And I also remember, Kapil, what you said, that a robo would not know how what a bride's father is feeling. So at Radisson Blue Faridabad, we also do a lot of personalization, and we use tech in it. Our AI-powered menu engineering system analyzes guest ordering pattern and dietary preferences, and from the previous days as well, enabling our culinary team to customize menu offerings. For instance, when we notice a high percentage of guests coming in from a specific region, we incorporate authentic regional dishes, we while maintaining their dietary preferences. It can be halal, or it can be vegetarian preferences. Not only that, we are now introducing at RHG an app called Dynamite, which also increases the a la carte rates based on consumption of a specific menu item, whereby it also increases the APC of the restaurant. We've implemented smart inventory management that tracks real-time consumption patterns and correlates them with the guest profiles. This allows us to predict and prepare specific ingredient requirements, such as gluten-free alternatives or a particular protein, ensuring that we are ready to meet any personalized dietary needs of a guest coming to our hotel. Through our integrated CRM system, we maintain detailed profile of our guests, dining habits, their allergies, special locations, etc. When a returning guest makes a reservation in a restaurant, our system automatically alerts the F&B team about their preferences, enabling them to prepare a personalized touch, like their preferred table, preferred drink, preferred wine, any complaint that the guest had in his previous dining experience. All that is also personalized and ensure that no such complaints happen again. Our digital platform uses machine learning to analyze seasonal trends, guest demographics, and suggest menu modification. For example, during an international business conference, we adjust our breakfast buffet to include diverse international options that cater to our global guests. So that is done based on the information that we get. We utilize predictive analytics to optimize our restaurant staffing and kitchen operations also. This includes analyzing factors like in-house guest demographics, local events, historical data to ensure we maintain service excellence during peak hours. We spoke about tech coming to the use. Our feedback analysis system also processes guest reviews and satisfaction surveys in real time, allowing us to quickly identify trends and adjust our offerings. When we notice a pattern of a guest requesting can be more plant-based protein, we expand our vegan menu selections and train our staff on plant-based dietary requirements. So we keep on personalizing the offerings that we provide to our guests at Radisson.
Super, Harpreet. Thank you so much. Kapil, with personalization driving guest loyalty, how does Crowne Plaza Rohini use real-time guest insights to enhance repeat guests?
Well, Ashwani, as I said earlier, I think the key catch is to be proactive. So proactive comes with the help of data analytics and the feedback which we already have in the system, and all the booking details if it is a leisure customer. So we use a lot of other forms like a preference form which is sent out. You have virtual concierge which gives you data of what the customer wants. So those are all pre-arrival. So the more pre-arrival information you have, the better you can be planned. That helps us in being a little more proactive. In sense, if I know Ashwani is checking in tomorrow and tomorrow is his wedding anniversary, so we try and get in touch with the customer today and say, you know what, you want to apply something special? Let's look at a unique dining experience at the poolside, a cozy dinner if you're coming with your wife. Um, so, so we use that data to give them and use to inbuilt a bit of a proactive service to give them that
So
experience.
if I was to ask you what's percentage of your guests are repeat guests at your hotel?
I have nearly 30%, 30 to 35%. If I take, I'm taking only FIT. I'm not taking mice. My repeat is probably 70 to 80% on mice.
Lovely. No, but that's a good number. I think Kapil, 30% repeat guest that you're able to drive out of AI. So great. Thank you, Kapil, for your inputs.
Thank
Rakesh,
you.
many hotels struggle with data silos across departments. How have you integrated the multiple data points to create a seamless guest experience?
All right, story time again. So Mr. Smith is staying with us for a week, and the day of the check-in, he meets the chef and asks for a chocolate mud cake. Unfortunately, we don't have it on the menu, but of course, chef customizes it. Next day, he offers it. So this is a correlation between the front office team, GREs, the culinary team, and the F&B service. He's staying with us for a week, 6,000 miles away from his family, and through our data procurement process, we get to know it's his birthday. What does the chef do? Chef has already captured his preference of chocolate mud cake. When the guest comes down for breakfast, the restaurant is packed. But thanks to assistance from data-enabled apps, Mr. Smith is welcomed by the hostess, wishing him a very happy birthday. He is assigned a table, and suddenly the entire team gathers around the table, and a chocolate mud cake, his favorite, is presented to him to cut and celebrate that occasion. He's so overwhelmed, he calls his family, video calls his family. It's middle of the night, by the way, in his home country, and he tells his wife about the experience that he's going through. Second one, Mrs. Khan and Mrs. Sharma, they check in at 5:45 p.m. and we do special welcome for single lady travelers. So all that is done, and we take their consent for a picture that can be circulated throughout the hotel to identify these high-profile customers. So 5:45 is when it happens. They head to their room, freshen up, and come down to the bar at 6:15. And 6:15, because the picture has been circulated with their names, they've not met anybody else in the hotel apart from the check-in staff. Again, the hostess at the bar remembers them from the picture she saw half an hour back and recognizes them and addresses them by their respective names. They are simply delighted.
Absolutely. I think as Harpreet mentioned, it's when you're addressed by your name, I think that's something which really is personalized.
Absolutely. So I'll just finish by a small anecdote, which I did the last time as well. So what I believe in is when the customer comes first, the customer will last.
Absolutely.
Those are my finishing. That's my finishing statement.
Thank you.
Very
Thank you, Rakesh. Okay, so Bhuvanesh, over to you. I think I hope we are on time, and
Our
yeah.
moderator's done a fantastic job. I told you, no, he's a man of numbers.
No, no.
Punctuality is not about coming in time, it's also about closing in time.
Thank you.
All right, so brilliant show. I think Ashwini's done a damn good job. But yeah, more importantly, the topic has been extremely important. We have time, gentlemen. You know, we always have time when it's the second show and the last show of the day. Why don't we play Kaun Banega Crorepati? Right? So tell us if I can, along with Ashwini, place one or two quiz questions to you.
Yes,
With
sure.
Absolutely.
No paragraphs. अच्छा मुझे ये बताओ, according to a recent study, how many data points can a modern hotel collect per guest stay to enhance personalization? Any guesses?
More than 100.
Ashwini?
Well, I would say not more than 11 or 12, which means starting from the reservation details to the service record to the service response to personal preference, purchase histories, browsing behavior, marketing engagement, and loyalty program data. That's where I would want to kind of say that a modern hotel should collect. I mean, not that how many can we collect. Yes, to answer Rishi's point, yes, you can collect a whole lot of data. But then ideally, I would say that what we should collect is not more than some of this data, and not be too intrusive towards the guest.
Any guesses?
Around 1,000.
Maybe increase that by another 10, Mr. Khanna, in terms of interactions that would happen to get, the lifestyle or the preferences or the issues that they have.
Number.
I would think
Bees,
around
bees,
1,000.
bees.
1,000.
1,000.
1,000.
1,000.
Per guest?
20.
Yeah, per guest 1,000.
Per guest.
So it's between 50 and 100, depending on what.
Okay.
सर आपने 4 ऑप्शंस तो दिए नहीं थे.
ABCD बोलना था सर, फिर कॉल ऑफ रेन्यू होना चाहिए.
अच्छा मैं बता देता हूँ 50, 200, 500, 1000.
50.
I think 100 is a.
मेरे को ये बताओ, New Delhi is home to one of the busiest airports in the world. In 2024, what was the total number of domestic and international passengers handled by IGI?
I think the recent
Since
discussion I had,
Shuvendu, yeah.
Around 78 million.
I think the recent discussion I had with the GMR guys, they said around 74 million.
Yeah, about 70.
Yes, 70 go.
Yeah.
Sir, again,
So
you've not
much.
given the options.
ना इसमें ऑप्शन नहीं है.
इसमें
नहीं इसमें अगर शुभेंदु और मैं नहीं जवाब दे पाए तो फिर फायदा नहीं हमारा यहाँ.
The right answer is 77 million.
But a biased question था for the airport hotel.
और नहीं भाई साहब ऐसा कुछ नहीं
Rakesh,
है.
I said 78
और
million.
एक सेकंड कपिल, ये भी एयरपोर्ट के पीछे ही बैठा है.
हाँ करेक्ट.
ये फ्रंट में बैठे हैं ना, हम पीछे हैं. फ्रंट वालों को ज्यादा मालूम है.
ये वो बच्चे की होगी जिसको आंसर नहीं पता.
तो फ्लाइट का मोड हो गया, बिजनेस क्लास और इकोनॉमी क्लास. फ्लाइट तो फ्लाइट है.
सर मेरे को ये बताओ, इंडिया इज अ मेजर डेस्टिनेशन फॉर स्पिरिचुअल टूरिज्म. According to government data, how many million international tourists visited India for spiritual and wellness tourism in 2024?
So wellness about I think
Spiritual and wellness मिला के
दोनों मिला के
Around 5 million.
4.5.
4.8, 4.9, somewhere there.
हाँ जी आगे बताओ.
10 to
10
12
million.
million.
10 million.
20 million.
बताओ. अश्विनी ने नहीं बोला.
जो डेटा है सर, that says around 4.8 or so in the first 6 months. जो डेटा अभी तक.
ये डेटा है या गूगल है?
10 million. 10 million.
दोनों सर, गूगल ही डेटा देता है, AI driven. We are using AI.
5.2 million.
5.2.
So that was Mr. Khanna, domestic and international, is it?
हाँ जी.
Yeah.
That's less, no, for India. Spiritual.
International, I would say.
Sorry, that is international.
Only
That is
international.
international.
it's only international.
हाँ.
तो खन्ना महाकुंभ का भी कोई डेटा दे दो हमें.
महाकुंभ में 70 करोड़.
हाँ जी.
70 करोड़.
I'm saying महाकुंभ का भी कोई डेटा दे दो.
परसों तक 56 करोड़ हो चुके थे.
56.
हाँ जी. परसों ही योगी जी बोले हैं ना.
40% of the country has been there.
Well,
repeat guest भी कैलकुलेट किया हुआ है मिस्टर खन्ना उसमें.
हाँ रिपीट गेस्ट भी किए हुए हैं, सिंगल विजिट्स भी किए हैं, और जिन्होंने नहीं किया वो भी किए हैं. All right. So this brings us to a closure of this show. I have really enjoyed it. I mean, all these shows there's so much of learning from all these shows, and they actually have a lot of value. So, Ashwini, if I was to leave it to you to close.
I think really a great show. I've heard some great comments from everyone, how AI is today helping each one of us in our own segments, which is transient, weddings, MICE, events, even leisure travelers, wellness, heritage, cultural tourism. So AI is everywhere. It is not kind of threatening our team members. It is only embracing, and it is only making things easier for us to provide a more personalized service. So I think some great comments and some great stories that I heard from some of our colleagues over here. So that's where I would like to kind of put a close to it.
So, Rishi emphasized the role of data-driven personalization in luxury and wellness tourism at ITC Grand Bharat. Harpreet highlighted how AI is transforming F&B personalization and predictive guest services. Shuvendu explored AI's role in elevating transient guest experiences at airport hotels. Sharad spoke about data's impact on MICE experiences and guest sentiment analysis at Crowne Plaza, Greater Noida. Rakesh explained how data integration across hotel departments enhances service consistency and personalization, apart from all the pointed examples that he gave of how they personalize. Kapil shed light on how Crowne Plaza Rohini leverages data analytics to customize guest experiences for both business and leisure travelers while enhancing repeat visits. And Ashwni obviously spoke about his grasp and handling of data analytics and how they keep them secure and use them for the best effect of business and, most importantly, guest experience. I've had a wonderful show. It is evident that harnessing data is no longer a luxury, but a necessity for hotels striving to offer highly curated and seamless guest experiences. This brings us to the end of another insightful episode. A big thank you to all the esteemed panelists, especially to our anchor for the day, the moderator Ashwni, 10 on 10, Rishi, Harpreet, Shuvendu, Sharad, Rakesh, and Kapil, for your thought-provoking insights. Also, a huge thank you to Team BW and BW Hotelier for bringing shows back to back, day after day. And it is not easy bringing out shows. The content that we do, each question that is done, and coordinating and scheduling with all of you. So hats off to my colleagues at the back end. They are celebrities. They are my true heroes. Apart from you, who make the shows meaningful, worthy, and are the best case for this industry, for all the impressionable who want to carve out a career in this wonderful industry. Stay tuned for the 2 shows tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow, after the 2 shows tomorrow, we will step into the last week of this series. We will close the series next Thursday and Friday. We bring you 2 shows every day, every Thursday, every Friday, 4 to 5 p.m., 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Watch us on bwhotelier.com, our YouTube channel, and across our social media platforms. I enjoy bringing it to you. Encourage us, follow us on our social media, and 3 cheers once again to all the speakers on the show today. Thank you, Ashwni. Thank you, Rishi, Harpreet, Shuvendu, Rakesh, Sharad, and Kapil. Don't go away yet. There's a short video of Diversey whom we must support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Diversey. Thank you once again, Ashwni, Rishi, Harpreet, Shuvendu, Rakesh, Sharad, and Kapil. God bless you.
Thank you,
We'll see you
Bhuvanesh.
back
Thank
soon.
you.
Bhuvanesh.
Thank you.
Thank
well
you.
and keep
Thank
well.
you, Mr. Khanna.